I was scared of the original cartoon. I think I watched it once and then I never picked it up again. I watched it for the first time in probably...
As a child, I found the original Snow White cartoon terrifying. I watched it once, and its eerie vibes kept me away for years. Recently, after 16 or 17 years, I revisited it, and the experience was overshadowed by the chaos surrounding Disney's live-action remake. The past few weeks have been a spectacle, with the Walt Disney Company reeling from South Park's savage parody of their Snow White reboot and its star, Rachel Zegler. The episode didn't just poke fun, it obliterated Disney's approach, mocking their shift toward what many call woke ideologies, race-swapping, reimagining classic narratives, and sidelining tradition for modern messaging. South Park's takedown wasn't subtle. It turned Zegler into a caricature of everything fans had been venting about online for months, amplifying her controversial interviews into a cultural firestorm. The internet erupted, memes flooded every platform, and Disney's fairy tale dreams spiraled into a PR catastrophe. The episode, part of South Park's upcoming DEI special, a sequel to their Panderverse, zeroed in on Disney's Snow White remake. Already a lightning rod for controversy. Zegler's casting as Snow White had sparked debates from the start. As a Latina actress playing a character named for her pale complexion, she faced backlash from fans of the 1937 classic who felt the choice was a deliberate departure from the source. But it wasn't just about casting. Zegler's interviews fueled the fire. She repeatedly criticized the original Snow White, calling it outdated, dismissing the prince as a stalker, and declaring that her version wouldn't dream of love but of power. To many, this felt like a rejection of the story's heart, replacing romance and dreams with a modern agenda. South Park seized on this, crafting a parody that didn't just exaggerate Zegler's persona, it weaponized her own words. In the ROASTS episode, the animated Zegler is a force of chaos, storming through scenes with unrelenting rants about the original Snow White's toxic legacy. She's portrayed as a self-righteous crusader, shutting down her castmates with monologues about equity and progress, rolling her eyes at tradition, and bragging about dismantling nostalgia. The parody doesn't hold back, showing her barking orders, mocking scripts, and dismissing romance as irrelevant. It's brutal, hilarious, and uncomfortably familiar. South Park didn't invent her dialogue from scratch, they lifted it almost verbatim from Zegler's real-life interviews, twisting her sound bites into comedy gold. Lines about the prince being a stalker, or Snow White needing to be a leader, not a dreamer, were straight from her press tour, exaggerated just enough to sting. The animated Zegler isn't a confused newcomer. She's a cartoon villain, a mirror, reflecting the internet's angriest complaints. The episode's impact was immediate. Clips went viral, with fans posting side-by-side comparisons of South Park's scenes and Zegler's interviews. The similarities were uncanny, turning the parody into a cultural autopsy of Disney's missteps. Social media exploded with memes, remixes, and hot takes. Some laughed uncontrollably at the savagery, others cringed at the secondhand embarrassment. No one stayed silent. Trending charts lit up with Zegler's name, and the Snow White remake became a punching bag for every grievance about Disney's recent direction. South Park didn't just roast Zegler, they roasted Disney's entire playbook, from corporate statements to casting choices, exposing the gap between the studio's intentions and the audience's reception. Behind the scenes, the fallout was seismic. Sources say Zegler was livid, feeling not just mocked, but personally attacked. To her, the parody wasn't just about her interviews, it was a slap at her identity and values. As a woman of color pushing for representation in Hollywood, she saw herself as challenging outdated tropes and fighting for inclusivity. South Park's portrayal, in her view, reduced that mission to a punchline, painting her as a smug opportunist. Insiders claim she wanted to respond publicly, to defend her intentions and clarify her stance, but Disney had other plans. The studio went into crisis mode, holding emergency meetings to contain the damage. Their strategy? Silence. Zegler was reportedly told to avoid all public statements. No tweets, no Instagram posts, no interviews. Disney canceled her promo appearances, from talk shows to red carpets, citing scheduling conflicts that fooled no one. The fear was clear. Any comment from Zegler, even a heartfelt one, could reignite the backlash and drag Disney deeper into the mess. This wasn't just about protecting Zegler, it was about protecting the brand. Disney was already on shaky ground. Bob Iger, back as CEO, faced a company in turmoil. Marvel, once a guaranteed hit machine, was churning out flops, with audiences complaining about repetitive stories and heavy-handed messaging. Disney Plus was bleeding subscribers, with flat growth internationally and cancellations piling up in the US fans who once adored the brand were turning away, saying the magic had faded. The Snow White remake, meant to be a triumphant return to Disney's roots, had instead become a symbol of everything going wrong. South Park's parody didn't just highlight the film's issues, it amplified them. Turning a troubled project into a cultural laughingstock, the studio's response was chaotic. Insiders report daily PR meetings, with teams scrambling to rewrite narratives and salvage the film's image. There were whispers of reshoots, scrapped scenes, and even script rewrites to soften the backlash. But the deeper problem was accountability. Who was to blame? Zegler for her outspoken interviews? Director Greta Gerwig, rumored to have clashed with Zegler on set? The fans for rejecting the reimagined story? Or South Park for exposing the cracks with surgical precision? No one could agree, but the tension was palpable. Zegler reportedly felt betrayed by Disney, believing they'd abandoned her when the controversy exploded. Sources say her team explored legal options, arguing that Disney violated her contract by cutting her out of promised promo opportunities. While no lawsuit materialized, the threat alone spoke volumes. The relationship between Zegler and Disney was fracturing, and the film's production was a mess. Even Gal Gadot, cast as the evil queen, couldn't escape the storm. Rumors swirled of on-set tension between her and Zegler, with some saying they hadn't spoken in weeks. Scenes were reportedly scrapped due to the toxic atmosphere, and the film's delays only fueled speculation. Online, the internet turned. The drama into a meme factory, with South Park's clips still trending and fans piling on with edits and jokes. The conversation snowballed beyond Snow White, morphing into a broader debate about culture, tradition, and progress. Some defended Zegler, arguing she was modernizing a dated story and challenging Hollywood's status quo. Others saw her as disrespectful, accusing her of trashing a beloved classic and playing the victim when criticized. The parody became a lightning rod, forcing everyone to pick a side. The question now is whether Snow White 2025 can recover. The odds aren't great. The film has been delayed, rewritten, and reshot, with its stars at odds with the studio and its public image in tatters. Even if the visuals are stunning and the performance is flawless, the cultural baggage may be too heavy. South Park's satire didn't just mock a movie, it exposed a disconnect between Disney and its audience. The studio's push for modern messaging has clashed with nostalgia for its classics, and Snow White has become the flashpoint. For Zegler, the stakes are personal. Once hailed as a rising star after West Side Story, she's now at the center of a culture war she didn't start but can't escape. Her casting was initially celebrated, with Disney praising her as a bold choice to reimagine Snow White, but her comments alienated fans. And South Park's parody cemented her as a symbol of Hollywood's missteps. Disney's broader struggles don't help. The studio is grappling with a string of failures, from Marvel's flops to Disney Plus's subscriber woes. The Daredevil reshoots, a mess of scrapped plots and replaced showrunners, exposed chaos in their streaming division. Fans are vocal about lazy writing and political preaching, and the Snow White controversy has only amplified their frustration. For Disney, this isn't just about one film, it's about a brand losing its grip on its legacy. The studio that once defined fairy tales is now struggling to tell stories that resonate across generations. Rumors suggest South Park isn't done. Insiders hint at another episode, possibly targeting Bob Iger himself. If true, Disney's nightmare could deepen. The Snow White saga has already shown how quickly a studio can lose control of its narrative. For Zegler, the path forward is uncertain. She may rebound, leveraging her talent and charisma to rebuild her image. But for now, she's a lightning rod in a debate far bigger than one actress or one movie. Disney's challenge is existential. Can it bridge the gap between tradition and progress, or will it keep stumbling in the clash of old and new? This isn't just about Snow White, it's about what happens when a cultural titan misreads its audience. South Park didn't create the controversy, it held a mirror to it. Whether Disney can salvage this fairy tale, or whether it becomes the project that broke the Mouse House, depends on their next moves. For now, the internet is still buzzing, the memes keep coming, and the culture war rages on. What's clear is that when South Park takes aim, no one walks away unscathed.